Simplicity is hard.
It's very
Uh,
hard.
I saw that a couple months ago. People think like these great products that are out there that where there's a level of simplicity, it's easy. You just remove stuff. No, it's the choice involved of what to include to keep it simple but yet valuable to the user. And I remember what I was going to say. There was a client I worked with 15 years ago, and they sent out this daily dashboard. And the thing was, it wasn't a dashboard. It was a 15-page report with every a bit of data you could think of. How many people you think looked at that?
None.
Very few, if
Yeah.
any.
Yeah.
Because, well, one, it was sent so frequently, people would just got into the habit of discarding it. There was fatigue with it.
Yeah.
But then there was so much with it that, like, well, what is actually valuable here? What is this going to tell me? What is important here? Instead of the team working with their individual groups of stakeholders to say, you want to know this, you want to know this, you want to know this, they just said, okay, let's just throw it all together and you go pick through. Instead of slimming it down, saying, okay, you just want to be able to understand how people got to products and if there's any issues with checkout. Let's build a one pager for you. You want to understand key site features like on-site search and category navigation. Let's build something for you. You want to know about the whole checkout process. Let's build something for you. Let's just stuff everything together, and none of them looked for what they were, the information that could actually be valuable for them.
Yeah, and let's kind of take these insights and talk about, okay, well that's great, but how does that enable us to becoming more indispensable, right? Like how does that translate to us creating value? I'm going to draw one more analogy because I think it works really well. So I have a hot tub out back off the deck, and every 9 to 12 months, I do an incredible deep clean on it. It takes me 8 to 9 hours to do, but it's like once a year. And then every Saturday, I have a 10 to 15 minute, slight little maintenance routine that I go through to keep it in good shape. And then the rest of the time, I get to use it and get the value out of not having to worry about maintaining it or keeping it up. I just get to go sit in it, and it's awesome. I have a neighbor, on the other hand, who every time like he sees me working on the hot tub saying, like I just got to get rid of my hot tub. It's not valuable. In fact, it's just costing me more money. I'm constantly, wait for it.
I heard it.
Okay. It's constantly, breaking down, and I'm like having to clean it and all this stuff. It's just a pain in the ass. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. And that is a parallel to what we're doing with our analytics teams is we're not putting in the work to have a sustainable maintenance strategy where we're doing a little bit here and there to keep things running smoothly. Instead, we're again kind of gone at it in this haphazard way. It's constantly breaking down. The water's constantly getting dirty, so we're having to scrub it and then drain it completely and then refill it and then drain it completely and do like a deep clean and a backfill. Like we're doing all this stuff. We don't have time to use the data to create. We don't have time to sit in the water and enjoy the warm water. We just don't have time because we're constantly maintaining and fixing it instead of just doing these little maintenance routines. And that's where sustainable analytics comes into play, is that it gives you a framework to, every once in a while there's a big effort to make sure that our data is clean and meaningful. But then it's just little tweaks here and there that take very little time at all. And the rest of the time, we can be putting our brain power towards actually activating that data, using it to inform the business, making our stakeholders smarter, answering questions quicker. But we can't do those things if we're constantly putting the majority of our team's brain power into draining the water and refilling the hot tub every week. It's impossible.
That's the one thing we overburden our analytics teams with. The reason why they're not able to actually put in those small maintenance cycles, those routine maintenance cycles, is going back to what you mentioned toward the beginning of they're constantly being told, collect all the data, tag all the data, make sure we have all the data and everything that comes with it. So they're constantly doing new stuff, which increases the maintenance burden, but they're not doing any maintenance. So then things break down, people lose trust in the data, and then they say, well, this is just an extra team anyway. They're not focusing on what's core to the business.